not stressed one bit. I was thanking everybody. Everybody there was amazing. The anesthesiologist came in, touched my arm, made sure that everything was okay. I I knew that they were going to come through. You can kind of see, here's the scar. And they did an amazing, amazing job. So it comes down here. They're cutting into the jawline. They come through here and they make a cut. They open this back up, and then they take a piece of skull basically around your temple. They remove the skull, and then my aneurysm was directly behind my eye and about in the middle of my brain. It was in a circle Willis. I had a partial, it was on my right side, but my left side did not have the full circle Willis. It was a deformity, but they say many people have that, but they say it's not really a big deal. You can be left brain or right brain. There's some theories about that, but regardless, I had one side, and that's the side the aneurysm was on. So he said, we're going to go through your right side because there's less chance of speech issues coming through the left side. So what they did is they went through, they cut it, went through, found their way. You can watch, and I did. I watched the whole surgery on YouTube. And they have to go pull things apart, move it, then go in there and clip it. They did that. I was recovering. If I have a headache, a major migraine, I throw up. I also get dizzy. So I told them right away that, and that was another thing that Kennedy Kirsch had mentioned. And I really recommend you listen to her story. She's probably going to give you a lot better information than me. So coming out of brain surgery, it affects you. It affects you. You're going to throw up. It's going to hurt. I guess that's part of it. I do remember being in a lot of pain coming out of surgery. I don't really remember much being in the hospital, but I do remember that first night I was getting sick, and they took me off of narcotics. They were doing some other form of pain management just because it was making me sick. They were giving me nauseous stuff. But basically I slept. I really don't remember much of it, honestly. That's a good part. I was in there probably 4 days, came home, and I'm going to show a picture up here. I should show it on this side or this side. Whatever side it shows up on, I'm going to have to edit this later, and I'll throw it on there on what I look like. Big puffy scar, puffed up face, black and blue. Came home. It wasn't a very fun ride. We're about 8 to 10 hours away from Mayo Clinic, and it was not a fun ride home. One thing that I suggest, make sure that you have many, many pillows in your car on your way home, especially if you do it out of state or quite a ways away. Many pillows. Any major surgery, they give you anesthesia and pain medications, and they bind you up. All right, so one of the goals is to be able to walk on your own, in which I was able to do, and also have a bowel movement. So I struggled with that. Well, guess what they did? They gave me Miralax, and they gave me another laxative, and they gave me several things right before my ride home. So I suggest making sure that you wear comfortable clothing, as comfortable as can be. Have a spare in case anything happens. When you get home, you're going to want to have your bed a little bit elevated, and you're not going to feel comfortable. If you have a lazy boy, I suggest that's probably what you're going to want to set in and sleep in. The second week, I remember being in quite a bit of pain. Didn't really want to talk to anybody, friends, family, anybody that came over. Really didn't want to talk to anybody. You'll need somebody there to give you your pain medication on time, and you want to stay ahead of the pain because it can sneak up on you fast. After week 2, I was like a new person, all right? It was amazing. Week 3, even better. Week 4, I started CrossFit again. So in 4 weeks after this surgery, I was doing CrossFit. Very, very light workout, but it was amazing. I can't describe how quick that turned around. One great thing, you'll have some pain, all right? It's just part of it. Some people say they didn't have that much pain as maybe I did, or maybe I'm just kind of a wimp. But it hurt me, but I don't remember much of it. So you'll go through it and you'll get through it, and there won't be any issues afterwards, I promise. The doctor said that was a good thing. He went in, actually they could take a look at it and see in the 2 daughter sacs. If you have daughter sacs, they don't know a lot about the brain, seriously. And if you have a daughter sac, just get it done. If you have a wide neck, I think both those should qualify as get it taken care of. If you have a smaller one, that's like a balloon, watch and wait, I think is fine. But it was my decision to have this done. I think that's kind of why a lot of people are scared and worried and don't know what to do. I was in that position. I kind of went on for 5 years, not really knowing, for 5 years, not really sure, I knew it in the back of my mind, and it bothered me more than I realized when I decided to get it taken care of. It was a breath of fresh air. So after surgery, I was looking for work. So I was stressed, but I was blessed with a great economy. I had interview after interview after interview after interview. I wasn't able to completely focus on myself and get healing time because I was making interviews, going to places. That struggled. That put my mind in, I'm a nervous kind of guy anyways. I'm a worrier. And that bothered me a little bit. I wish that I would have had an extra, instead of coming back to work 6 weeks, I came back to work. And it might have been 8. It really might have been 8. I don't remember exactly. However, I wish it would have been longer. Just because, those things were stressful, and you go through quite a bit. You go through quite a bit emotionally. Most people in these forums, when you read about it, a lot of people have a lot of emotions, and you're going to have emotions. I remember flat out bawling and crying out of nowhere. And that's part of brain surgery. They don't really know a lot about it. You touch a certain area, they do something. For the longest time, I was worried that I lost my memory. And I was positive I did, and it was because of brain surgery. Turns out, I went through neurological testing, and I went through neuropsychopath testing or whatever it was. I went to a psychologist and a neurologist and psychologist, not neurologist, and psychiatrist. All right, so I went to them, and that helped me. All right, they realized, and 4 weeks from today, I had my left upper lung removed. I had calcification. I'm blessed, but I had 2 major surgeries within less than 365 days. This was a long time coming, but you can get through it. I went through it. They gave me some medication to help you if you are have anxiety, or you're scared or worried or depressed. They can get you through whatever you need to get through. And that's a theme that I see throughout especially the brain aneurysm community and Together and Survivor Support Association on Facebook. You see a lot of people worried and scared, and the family don't understand. And that's true. Your family quite won't understand. And that's okay. They don't have to. But whatever thing, if you're going through anything mentally where you're depressed or worried, make sure that you go out and get help, because they've got it. I think that should be automatic after you have brain surgery or brain trauma. The Same You Foundation, I reached out to them because I found out that the lady Carlisi from the Game of Thrones had 2 aneurysms. She had one rupture and she had one fixed during the filming. And so she created the same U foundation. So there's a lot of great resources and there's a lot of unknowns about this. So do not be afraid of asking for help. When you get home, make sure you have someone there to help you take your medications on time. It's very important that you take your medications on time to stay ahead of the pain. Once your pain is done, then you don't have to have the medications. It's a lot easier. You're not going to be hungry, especially that first week. But I wasn't hungry. They cut into my jaw. So you have limitations. So basically the only thing I really wanted was Jell-O or pudding. And it mostly was Jell-O. I would have some Atkins shakes or some types of shakes that I would drink occasionally. That was more so for later on. You're going to be sore, but no big deal. One of the biggest things that I found, I slept because it was over here. I slept on my left side. I'm not a back sleeper. Never have been. But the lazy boy, you can sleep in it, especially if you need to for the first week or two. Laying on your side a lot is going to hurt your back. Your back is going to be sore. Your muscles are going to be sore. So if you could have somebody there to give you a massage. I went to the chiropractor, amazing guy. He helped me. Although you couldn't lay, there was quite a bit of incision still here. It was puffed out, so I couldn't lay my head down completely, but he worked it out, helped me out. You will get sore laying on one side. What else? Have soft food ready. Your family is going to go through quite a bit, so make sure that you have support for them. It's not easy taking care of somebody with a major surgery like this, and make sure you have support. Maybe have some meals. We had one friend bring us later on, bring us a big thing of chicken and pasta. Man, it was amazing. Ate that till it was gone. And it was a big, it was basically a week's worth of food for us. Have somebody to mow your lawn. Have somebody to do whatever you need to do because you're not going to be able to do it. Listen to the doctor. If they tell you you can't lift, you can't lift. If they tell you you can, and you can. At 4 weeks, boom, I was working out. Very, very light, but I did it, and it was awesome. I just want to make sure that before you make a decision to do it, I'm pro getting it fixed. I wish I would have done it a long time ago. It was in the back of my mind, and more than I realized. The doctors said it was time. I truly believe that God had all this planned. I believe that blood that come out in my nose shot out like a super soaker. I think that was a pressure relief valve. But the doctor said no, but pressure relief valves for steam and water and all this other things, that's what they do. If you get too much pressure, it relieves. The same blood system that was on this side, this is where my aneurysm was. So I'm convinced that kind of helped me. Please, I do not agree with local hospitals unless you have a large one. I believe in teaching or larger hospitals. The Mayo Clinic, Rochester, Minnesota, I cannot say enough good about them. They have a team. They get you in. They take your test. Within 10 minutes, you know the results. You're bam, bam, bam. There's no messing around. It costs a little bit more because your family member has to stay in a hotel during your stay. But a lot of times they have a home that you can stay in or a family